Hey y'all, the class going on. How you doing? How you doing? Going on. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you are tuning in. Thank you for being here. My phone's going off. Hi, my name is Eki Asamota, creative director of an amazing company called Your Queens. What we do is we teach about African royalty through storytelling, song, and dance. And today we're excited to share with you episode 5 of season 3 of Behind the Crown. And what that is, if you are tuning in for the first time, where you get to meet the kings and queens behind your queens and our special guests. And we talk about so many different topics, from the 7 Kwanzaa principles to love to finance. And it's all about having these conversations about building wealth, about being truthful and honest, and how we continue to build as a community. Not only talking about it, but putting the actions step towards it. You're here tuning in. Hi, sister. Good evening, my sister. I love you. Had a wonderful conversation with my soror earlier. Angie, she's hardworking. She's usually on here. Hi, beautiful. Thank you for being here. Send this out to your family and friends. Tell them that Your Queens is live for Behind the Crown. We miss you too, boo. Well, I feel you right here. You're right here with us. Send this out to your family and friends. Tell them come tune in. Share this out. Like our YouTube page. Everything is Your Queens Inc. But I'm so excited to introduce our guest today because we're talking about finance. And I called it a billionaire mindset because we've been on that vibe. I believe that every single one of us, God wants us to use our gifts to travel the world, to see things, and believe that we can do this. So I want to first introduce my boo, one of my close dear friends, DJ Overload. How you doing? Appreciate you. Rashina Thomas. I've known her for I keep saying 10 years, but it's probably longer than that now. She's also a member of Your Queens. She plays Queen Amina. She's been around since day one, as well as she's an advisor on my board of director and also my vice president. As well, she's a master educator and an entrepreneur. Queen Rashina, thank you for being here. Say hi to the people.
Hello. Hi, everyone. She already introduced me and said everything, so I'm here and excited to talk to you all tonight.
Thank you. Next up, we have my brother, Jamed. Now, I know for sure I met him when I was about 16, so I'm 40. I'm 40 now. I know I don't look it, but I'm 40 now, and this is my brother, Jamed, cracking up. So Jamed is a Brooklyn-based DJ, performer, educator, healer, curator, world traveler, 4 continents. Are we up to 5 yet? Public figure, Brooklyn native, father, and belongs to a loving, influential family. Jamed lives to inspire, manifest his highest destiny, and help others to do the same. And he's been on here a few times. I love you. Say hello to the people.
First of all, I love you too. Second of all, I'm trying to figure out if you wrote that intro or I did, because I like it. I really like it now.
You did.
Yeah, but yeah. So look, peace to everybody on the broadcast. I'm so humble and grateful to be here in this moment right now.
Ashe, give thanks. Always great to have you, brother. Next up, another brother of mine, and also shout out today is his Founders Day for Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. Chaka, he is the founder of Black Knight Program, a chess mentoring program for young people. This program teaches the game of life through the game of chess. He is also the founder of an Interagency Alliance, a community center organization that seeks to aggregate individual contributions into collective impact in preventing gun violence. Chaka is dedicated to inspiring people to improve through introspection and activism. Chaka believes that focusing on growth and development of children is the greatest lever to affect change. Chaka has received many awards and recognition for his work from the New York City Department of Education and several community-based organizations. Chaka has a budding YouTube channel, and he focuses on reducing stress, improving health, fitness, and increasing financial literacy. Chaka, say hello.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for having me today, Eki. I am so privileged to be on your show with a wonderful panel, and I believe that one of the best ways for us to learn is to have fun. So hopefully we're going to have some fun. We're going to learn some things, and we're going to put some things into practice so that we will be able to move forward and be better tomorrow than we were today.
I love that. Thank you, brother. We appreciate you. Last but not least, he's been on here as well. I met this brother very recently. I want to say about 2 years ago. I don't know if it was during COVID or before COVID, right before. I'm not exact, but it was around that time. Floyd Phillips, the second founder of the Floyd Phillips Company, a diversified media and entertainment conglomerate headquartered at the Floyd Phillips Studio in Los Angeles, California. Floyd, good to have you. Say hello.
Hello, hello, hello. Happy to be with everybody here today. So excited. Let's talk. Money.
Let's do this. Absolutely. Thank you, guys. So we want to jump right in. But before that, I would like to ask if shout out to Logic, our producer behind here. We talked about Your Queens. If you guys are new to this, because we're also streaming live on 3 platforms right now as we grew from Your Queens Media, Your Voice Media, Your Queens, and I Rant Network. YV Media, shout out. Thank you for being here. So we want to talk about Your Queens. We have a cute little commercial, not little, a big commercial worldwide. So Your Queens commercial coming up. Enjoy, sit back, and book us. We are here for you virtually, worldwide, everywhere.
Are you looking for a new way to celebrate your birthday? Have your Black History Month celebrations been missing the mark? Want to add a royal touch to your next event? Then you need Your Queens, the first registered African royalty character company depicting the stories of non-fictional African kings and queens. Whether you are planning an intimate gathering or filling up a stadium, Your Queens will evaluate, educate, and express the dynamic lineage of real African men and women through storytelling, song, and dance. You'll have the opportunity to meet dynamic royals such as Queen Cleopatra, Makeda, Queen of Sheba, Queen Nefertiti, Queen Amina, Queen Nzinga, and Queen Nanaya Asantua. Let Your Queens take your next in-person or virtual occasion to the next level. For more information, visit our website at www.yourqueens.com.
I love that. That's one of our Queen Shannon's voice, beautiful voice on a commercial. So I want to jump right in. Y'all ready? First question. Let's do this. Why? And for our audience as well, please, you already know, put in the comments as well what you think, and we'll go from there. Why is it important to build sustainable wealth in the Black community? Why is it important to build sustainable wealth? I'm going to go with my brother Chaka first on this one, if that's cool. Why is it important to build sustainable wealth? Go for it.
Well, I think that the reason why it's important for us to build sustainable wealth is because when we have wealth, wealth represents freedom. It represents having an opportunity to have choices. When we have choices, that allows us freedom, flexibility, and decreased stress. So when we don't have choice, then we can enter into spaces of great stress. And we know that stress does some very horrible things to the body. And it manifests itself in terms of sickness and other things. So it's important for us to have sustainable wealth so that we can, one, pass things down to the next generation, but also so that we can have choices here in the present and live the healthy lifestyle that we are seeking to live with the lowest amount of stress possible.
I love that. Very well said. Thank you. And you said passing things down from your family line. You know, if you have property, pass it down for the next generation because you never know how life is. And you guys see where we're living in now. And it's so important. Hi, Osa. That's my sister on here. Having choices. So if you want to travel to see the world and being, I always kind of connect. I feel like you do as well, Chaka, health and finance together. Like if your mind ain't clear, you're not going to be able to move forward. Hello, Stacy. Peace and blessings to you. Thank you for being here. So we're talking about building sustainable wealth. Why is it important? And Chaka just dropped some gems on that. If you're joining in, we are your queens from Behind the Crown, episode 5, season 3, and we are talking finance, billionaire mindset. How do we get there? We can all attain it. DJ Overload, it's essential to have a secure and better financial future. Yeah, and just planning that. Can I jump to you, Rashina? To remember yesterday's price is not today's price. Okay, Angie, you already know. Yes, go, Rashina.
So for me, I think about the word sustainability, and it's all about being able to meet your own needs without taking away from who's going to come next. And as you know, Black people, we are in a place of always catching up. The generation before us had difficulties. Obviously, don't need to go into that history, but we all know. And it's like we were held back, and now we're catching up, catching up, catching up. So we are in a place, and when I say we, I mean us Black people as a whole. We are in a place where we can do better for the future, and I feel like it's very important for us to keep that in mind when we are thinking of building up communities and building up our own personal individual wealth. We don't want the next generation to have to catch up. We don't want them to have to struggle. We want these things to maintain themselves, you know, like for instance, property, real estate. When you pass on, your family can keep it going. That's money that they're going to make in their sleep, you know? So, for example, you may, generations from now, great grandkids may be in college and may bump into some financial trouble. Instead of them having to take out crazy loans or borrow from this person and take a semester off or work 2 jobs to come back and pay, it's like, no, my great-great-grandmother had this house in Bed-Stuy so many years ago. It's paying for itself right now, and we have some extra money. We have a nest egg. It's just important for us to make it better for the future because, again, mental health is important. And when you are faced, and I can say for myself, when you are faced with financial difficulties, it diminishes your mental health and it throws you off track. So you may have your 4-year plan, your 5-year plan, and you may be going at it steady, steadfast. And then it's like, boom, one thing happens. Oh man, my tooth messed up. I have to go get my tooth fixed. That costs $6,000. Oh no, I have to take away from this to pay for that. And if I take away from this, I have to take away from that. It's just an endless cycle of catching up and being above, keeping our heads above water. So it's so important for us to get out of that. We don't want that to be the norm. We don't want that to be, oh yeah, that makes sense. I'm from the hood. That's how it goes. We no longer want those things to be the only option for us. Because we also must understand that not everyone is going to do what we feel they should do. Yeah. But it's all about having options, opportunities, right? Let's make that for the next generation. Let's keep this going. Let's keep it sustainable. Let's keep the wealth in our families. So that's why I think it's important.
I love that. Make it for our next generation. Well said. But even also removing, I think I'm gonna throw a curveball. Like when you're listening, I'm hearing like a lot of times I think people deal with fear and also think that they can't acquire wealth. So it's like, even if for Floyd and Jamed, if you jump in on sustainable wealth and you want to talk about the fear of it and how to combat that. But also like Rashina said, we can't force it on anyone, but we can talk about it and just let them know. I think a lot of times some people don't think that it's possible. It's like, oh wait, I can work towards owning a home. I'm so used to living here. And again, that's fine if that's where you are. We can't force things on anyone, but we can maybe spark something for, and maybe their family their parents may not see it, but maybe their child is listening and sees it and want to do something different. So thank you. Jamed, let's go.
Yeah, y'all can hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Am I on? Am I live? All that? All right.
All that.
So to answer that question, I would think first, one, so that we don't get left behind, right? Like, the lovely Queen Amina was just saying, right? It's like we don't want to, like, right now, this is the biggest transference of currency and wealth that we've ever experienced in America. This is the biggest opportunity financially for everybody, but especially Black people, to gain wealth through all of, the shifts of this currency going down. So one is like, what is sustainable wealth? A lot of things that a lot of the sustainable wealth that we had before, no, I would just say, what is that? That's just something to be defined in itself, because like right now, it's like maybe back in the day, sustainable wealth was, I don't know, maybe having a job, or like having a job, having some real estate, I don't know, playing lotto, I don't know, right? But right now, I think sustainable wealth is being into where everything is going, right? And having knowledge of what's happening now, the shift, and what's about to happen, and being able to invest in things, in assets and information that will help you to design your own reality, right? Because if you're not into designing your own reality in 2021, but we're living in America, and we see America is on a certain trajectory that we don't control everything here. But for Black people that have, the spending power of $1 trillion, like if some of those Black people disciplined themselves and got educated, we could change the game, right? Like if they say the average Black family is makes something like, I don't know, between $10,000 and $17,000 in America. That's the average Black income in the household. That's what they say, right? That's some statistics say. It's like, so if we've been we've been down for a minute, and if we've been left behind and all these other things, I would just say why it's important to tap into sustainable wealth is because we have to. Like, if we understand where things are going, if you don't invest in the opportunities right now, then you don't have a future, because this country is not going to give you one as a Black person. So I'll stop there.
That's some truth. You're speaking honestly, very clear of where we are now. And that's, if you want to, you said it, this is the biggest opportunity right now to tap in. Talk to your friends who's doing finance, what you need to do. You can take baby steps, whatever it is that you want to accomplish. And I love that you brought it back to, so what is that definition of sustainable? Somebody can go play lotto every week. That's sustained for them. Or you think about building long-term work for your great grandkids. So now it's home ownership, or having a business, or investing. Some people do susus, have groups, so many different things. My dad has done that for years, and it has helped him tremendously. That I'm completely inspired by his mind frame and how he's built wealth. My line sister, Donnie. So thank you, Jamed. Mind shift to create wealth. Yes. My line sister is a real estate agent. She is doing wonderful. I'm so proud of you. And a new mommy as well, knocking and building houses all over. I'm so proud of you. DJ Overload, sustainable wealth will start to combat these issues. Awesome. We need to work on closing the wealth gap, which is already complex. We are behind as a community because of many factors. Y'all know how I am. That's so true. Also saying sustaining wealth definitely required a disciplined mindset. We're all on the same line. The mindset, like Chaka was saying, mindset would help, right? Wow. But even that with words, because I always hear a lot of times, like as a people of color, which is true, but also say we are doing it. We are making it happen. We are shifting. We are building wealth. We are having homes, and put it in that way. And also surrounding yourself with the right people that inspires you to build wealth together. Mr. Floyd, you're up next.
Well, from my viewpoint, as the previous panelist mentioned, he used the word called survival, and I'll use the same one. I think that for our survival, if we want to avoid the positioning that we're in now, I kind of had conversations with friends, and it looked like we're headed towards being a permanent underclass if we don't find ways to build wealth in our community. And that's only going to happen from, a couple of different aspects. It's either going to be through investing, and there's not very much. Most people don't have money to invest, so it's going to start with entrepreneurship. Even if it's starting companies like you have started your event planning, entertainment company. Something as small as that is a great idea. It's something that will can position someone to grow their wealth and build something, and then use the revenue that they generate from that to invest to grow. But I think that if we don't start thinking about building wealth and finding ways to sustain it, not only just to pass it down, but to pass it around the community and invest in each other, then we will find ourselves back in enslavement one way or another. So I think that a lot of times in our community, we're not thinking about these things, not hardly enough. If we see what's going on within the political landscape, these people aren't playing. They're playing for keeps, and literally they're playing for keeps. And we have to get serious about finding ways to regenerate and take as much of that $1.3 trillion in spending annually in our community and find ways to distribute that amongst each other, or we will find ourselves in a permanent underclass and we'll be locked out of that system. We are about 70% locked out right now, maybe even more. So we have to find, as you mentioned, sustainable ways of growth, and that's going to happen through, in my eyes, entrepreneurship. I think that's the only way that it happens.
Wow. You just totally kept it 100. And yeah, you just like, the time is now. Yeah, I love that. The time is now to wake up and see if you want to. Otherwise, we'll be stuck. We'll be, yeah. Eek. Wow. Okay. Thank you. Quick curveball. We are celebrating Your Queens on December 26th. Our Kwanzaa celebration, Building Wealth. Come through. It's going to be in person and virtual, but I want to tell you RSVP right now, because we're only taking about 40 people at this event because of COVID, safety, all that good stuff. But you can also tune in virtually and donation based. Whatever you can to contribute to Your Queens. We are a nonprofit organization. Know that we have Behind the Crown. We provide to services all around the world, virtually and in person. We also have a rites of passage program for young girls and a mentorship program for young boys. So your donations are going to help our children and continue to build your queens. Again, thank you to our family and friends who are tuning in. If you're joining in, my name is Eki, creative director of an amazing company called Your Queens. And I'm here with my queen and 3 amazing kings. And we are talking about billionaire mindset. We are talking about building wealth and how we take those steps to build wealth. Y'all ready for the next question? Or does anybody have anything else they want to share on the first one that popped in their head? Go ahead, Rashina.
When you mentioned the fear, that's real. A lot of times people fear something because it's so large. The idea is so large. That can stop you from starting something that's a very creative idea that you have. That fear of success can actually stop you from starting that. And the fear of, what if I do make these millions? What am I going to do with it? Or the fear of failure. So fear, it pops up in so many different ways, and it's something that has been used to keep us down. There are actual, programming built to instill fear in us and to keep us out and to keep us down, to keep that fear. Because once we realize fear ain't nothing but a word, it's dangerous for other people, and not dangerous in a bad way, because we ain't doing nothing but enjoying our lives, but they fear it, So that tactic has been used, and it's really instilled in us, And I feel like things like this panel, Behind the Crown, Your Queens in general, all these gentlemen on the live tonight with their individual entrepreneurships and goals and programs are showing people in generations, not even generations after us, because some of our peers that are our own age still have that fear, but we're doing it, we're doing it. We're not waiting for an endorsement. We're not waiting to make $1 million before we do it. We're doing it. So we need to continue to do it and to show more. You can do it too. You can do it too. And that's going to help us transition into that billionaire. Once we get that mindset, it's nothing but actions to follow, great actions to follow. So yeah, just wanted to add that.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing that. Excellent. Ja, you want to add on to it? And it's interesting. You said, like, we're being targeted. We already know, like, just jumping from what you said, what Floyd said, we are in that time. Logic said amen. And you said something about fear. YV Media said, nice. And failures. A lot of time, Donnie's pass it around. Exactly. I think Floyd had said something about passing it around. Okay, let me see any more comments before I go on. Pass it around. Yeah. Knessie Williams, I seriously got $500. How can I grow it? Somebody want to jump on that? Go, Floyd.
Well, let me ask you a question, Becky.
Yeah.
When you got the idea to start your queen, how much money did you get? That much, right? That much. So, and I'll say the same thing for my company that's similar, the one that we own that's similar to yours. I started with $100. So really, it's about having a good idea. I'm gonna give you a fun stat. The average Black entrepreneur starts a company with an average of $36,000. Okay, that's a far cry from what I started mine, but $36,000. The average white entrepreneur that starts a company starts on average with $1.2 million. So what this says is we're starting from so far behind that we don't have the money in our community and our family to compete at that level of investment. But if we have a good idea, we can start a business. So with that $500 that she has, find something that you enjoy. Research it. Like I always tell people, go to Google University or YouTube University and look it up and figure out how you can make money utilizing your skill set within that particular industry that you enjoy. And if you're creative, which we all have been, if those of us who have businesses, then you know that it's really just about your ingenuity. It's your ability to be able to build something and be creative, and then use the support system that you have around you to build it from scratch. So $500 is about $400 more than I had starting a business. So it's more than enough. It's just about taking the time, being creative, and just putting your best foot forward in terms of researching what you're planning.
That's such good that you brought that up. Oh, I wanted to get you to jump on, guys. I was really quickly. Honestly, how much I'm reflecting, and Rashina can even say on this too. The first time we got together, it was costumes from clothes from my house and from my mom's. She had a small business. That's how we put the costumes together. And I remember having a system make tulle. So maybe I spent $80. That was my first.
And how much was the first gig that you did that you got paid for?
I think it was like, maybe, you want to go, Rashina? Do you remember?
I got overly excited. We started doing a lot of free promo gigs, right, to get our name out there and everything. And we did our first commercial, remember, with the kids, and we used our friends' kids. We were like, listen, bring your children, dress them up. We're gonna face paint them and beat some drums, like have a good time. And like you mentioned, Floyd, you said your support system around you. That was our first year, was our support system around us. Everyone pitched in, whether financially or with their time, which was even more valuable. Because of all that pitching in and all that time and support we got, we built our content, and then we started getting paid from it. So it's like, with the $500 that they mentioned they have, it's like, you don't want to throw it all in one basket. You want to build enough so that you can sustain your company. Because if we only did Your Queen's paid gigs in the first year, we wouldn't have enough content to do what we're doing now in year 6. So we used our support system, and we built, and we saved it, and we downloaded, and this video, that video, this picture. We kept contacts with every single person we did an event with, every single person. Oh, I like this. Let me take a picture with you. We kept those information. We built that that little Rolodex. Do they even use that anymore? We built that little Rolodex, and when it was time to get paid, we tapped in and we got paid. So yeah,
Right. With an $80 investment,
right.
With an
you
$80.
were able to probably do how much? How much is a gig? And how much is a 1 hour event with you guys now?
Depending on how many queens you're booking. If you're booking about 3 queens, it can go up to about 750 to 1,000.
Yeah.
Right. On an $80 investment. So it's about the
Oh, Osa
creativity.
said Hofstra was the first client.
Oh yes, they booked us like 3 years in a row and paid full price. Sure did. Well paid clients. Also, yes, yes. I think Chaka and Jamed wanted to jump on for the 500 investment. Shaka, you want to
Well,
take it first?
yeah, I wanted to kind of dovetail on what Brother Floyd was just talking about. I think that we have this concept that riches are outside of ourselves, but riches are actually inside of ourselves. So if we focus on within and figure out exactly what our God-given ability is, then that's what's going to make us the millions of dollars that we are looking for. We can't look to chase the money. That's not the point. If you're chasing the money, you're doing it wrong. What you have to do is tap into your talent and chase the dream, and the money will follow after that. So you're not looking at being rich in terms of money. You have to look at being rich in terms of your gifts, and then your allocation of your time. Either you have time or you have money. If you don't have money, usually you have plenty of time. The way you allocate that time is going to make you the money that you may not have at that point in time. If you invest that time in yourself, invest that time in YouTube University, and you make high impact, you take high impact shots and do highly leveraged things, the money will follow. The money is just a byproduct of all that is in you. If you spend time on yourself, investing in your knowledge, your expertise, and your experience, the money will absolutely follow. So, in terms of this $500 that she's looking to invest, she's probably looking for an investment outside of herself, a good stock tip or something like that. But I would bring it back to her and say, find your passion, find a way to invest in yourself. Take that $500, take a course that's going to help open your mind. Because the only thing that separates you from a rich person is that mentality. We have a mentality in our minds that stops us from getting to the creativity outside. We don't believe that we can do it. We don't believe that we are worthy of success. There are so many different things that we have to remove, so many mentalities, so much mental slavery that has to be unshackled from us. And she can take that money and go to certain courses that is going to open up her mind and let her know that it is not just her by herself. The universe, God, whatever it is that you want to call it, is actually here to help you to be prosperous. The first commandment in the Bible was to be fruitful and multiply. God wants us to be very, very prosperous. He doesn't want us to struggle, but we somehow we have been in a part in society that has kept us enslaved mentally. So now when the chains are off of us, we still don't believe that we can do things. We don't believe that we're worthy of being rich, and we envy rich people, but at the same time we're secretly afraid of being rich because we don't know exactly what that new level is going to entail. So there's so many different things, so much unpacking that has to happen with our mentality first. In terms of the Black community has experienced trauma like no other. And until we deal with that trauma, we're basically spitting in the wind. We are not able to really capture all that is outside of us because we haven't dealt with what is inside of us first. So we have to deal with that trauma first. We have to look in for the riches. We have to tap into that passion, and the money will certainly follow.
Tap in, tap in. Chaka, listen, people, family, friends, this is why I have these people on here on this panel because they're going to keep it 100. Take the shackles off my feet so I can dance. Take the shackles off so you can free, right? I just want to praise him. Let's go. These are my peoples, and we're talking real talk. Take the shackles off. It's a lot of unpack and a lot of trauma. It's so much blockage. That was some great advice. I've always say I can't wait to replay it. And for the person I forgot the name, leave Osa's comment up. I hope that you got some gems of what to do with your 500. Osa said, I will always praise. Oh, yes, we said this the other day. I will always praise young rappers because they understand the value of speaking things into existence and changing your mindset through their music. Drake does it all the time. It's like, you know what I mean? I got this car and the Beamer, the billionaire. I don't know the words. You know what I mean? But then they have it. They're manifesting it. It's real. We talked about that. I'm like, wow, that is so true. They're putting it out there. So, Jamed, we're talking about the young man on Eki, Rashina, Floyd, Jamed, and Chaka. I see 5 billionaires on this panel. The knowledge is exploding tonight. Let's go, you too, brother. Come on. Come on. Make it rain, make it rain. All right. Let me focus. John Logic, unchain your brain and get this change. Or what Chaka said. Exactly. I told you I'm going to have to replay this. Logic. I need you on this last episode of season 3. I've been trying to get him to join. That's our producer on the back end to join. Quick story, and I want to get Jamed to talk about ways this young person can invest their 500. But something, Chaka, you were saying is of the belief in God and also tapping in spiritually. You know, your gifts, I was like, your gifts will make room for you. You trust it. God just wants you to follow your dreams. And again, the way you do that is tapping in. Sometimes I'm up 4 a.m, 5, 6, because that's when I want to research YouTube University and do certain things or research different things. The other day, I think my soror may still be watching this. Yesterday, she was on my heart and mind, and I had a vision that we needed to do work together. So every time I have a thought of something, I'm gonna reach out. Y'all know if I want to talk to you, I'm gonna call you or text you and say, hey, you are on my mind. So I had a vision that me and my soror were supposed to do work together. Guess what, family and friends? She had that same vision, and I called her, and it's to grow something together. So just tap in. Jamed, would you like to jump in? How to invest 5? Oh, I said my way would be investing, but what are your thoughts on what to do with 500?
Yeah, I would say maybe take half of it and buy a course in investing, right? And you know, I mean, or just like so buy a course on investing in cryptocurrencies, stocks, bonds, well, not bonds, but like cryptocurrencies and stocks, because that $500 you can spread it out, you can experiment, but what's the most important thing is the education. And like, I mean, I haven't been able to hit everything because I've been having some technical difficulties, but yeah, it's just really like right now it's like it's you know, it all comes down to our mindset and the information. Like there's never been a time like this. Usually before in the past, information has been hidden. So there's been a certain group of people that had the information and they kept it for themselves. They used it and they made everyone else work for them. But now what's happening is that this huge transition of like, for example, say in the 80s, you had to have somebody, a stockbroker, to you give them money and they go and trade it for you and you get a return, hopefully, right? Right now, there's never been a point where like you can download Coinbase or you can download KuCoin, you can download different sites and just start to and then go to YouTube and get a little bit of information about what cryptocurrencies are moving and put like $50, $100 down watch how it goes up and down, and just start to learn investing in money, right? Because you have different, you have it was this coin, I think it was Shiba, right? It's not even a penny yet, but there's somebody that put $800 down last year, and that $800 now, no, sorry. If you would have put $1 down on this one coin last year, this time, then your $1 would have been $60,000 today, right? So what would happen if you would have put $50 down on that, $100 down, $1,000? Like, you got somebody that put $8,000 down on it and became a billionaire. Like, so we've never had these type of percentages and these type of opportunities to gain wealth that we control from the tips of our fingers. We've never had this before without even working for it. Because the biggest thing is that we have to stop working for money, right? Because that's what people in business do. They use other people's money. So it's kind of like when we get an education around where to get money from, because we grew up on this, you got to have money, you know what I'm saying, to make money. And that is a lie. That is a lie. We grew up on a lie. So now it's like, wait a minute, like, it's about resources. It's about your spirit being aligned. It's about your mindset. And it's about you having the right information and then making the right moves and then putting some money down on it, right? So it's like, in conclusion, what I'm saying is that like buy a course or go on YouTube, and even before you put some money down, take a couple of classes that would allow you to understand how to move, because we already invest. We just invest in the wrong things. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you go and buy some Jordans, that's an investment that you're not getting money back for, right? When you when we go out to eat and all this other stuff, we're not getting money down for it. We'll spend hundreds of dollars for it. When we go on vacation, we're not getting the money back unless you have a business and you know how to flip your taxes and all that other stuff. So we know how to invest. Now it's like, can we train ourselves to invest in things that bring us like huge returns? You know what I'm saying? So I'll say that.
Boom. Y'all all just dropped some bombs. I hope that helped you out, young person. Thank you, Ja. Investing, starting your own business. I saw your face, Floyd. It's like, yeah, you don't need. We've been lied to, y'all. We've been lied to. There's a different way. Well, Nefertiti says, look at God speaking the same vision to y'all. Divine Oh, yes, with Masoro. Yes. Divine. Did you want to add something, Floyd? Go for it.
Here's the truth, okay? Since we've come over to this country, our export has been labor. Where is that getting us? The first thing that we think to do, I remember my father, really great guy, but he was going through a divorce, and the first thing he thought to do was to go get a job at Kmart. And that's not a winning strategy. And I think that we have to, as one of the previous panelists mentioned, we have to reprogram ourselves. Selling our labor, whether it was through being enslaved and selling it, or through indentured servitude, and now through having low wage jobs, it's not helping us. It is not taking us to the next level. We have to really sit down and rethink our strategy around survival, as was mentioned earlier, and wealth building. And it is through investing into ourselves instead of spending our time investing into working for people who are, or for companies that aren't paying us what we're worth, or investing into products and services that take money away from us outside of our community. Dr. Claude Anderson said that at 7 p.m. every day in the Black community, it goes bankrupt. It's because when you get your check, the first thing you do, you don't spend it in your community. You go out to the white community and shop at the mall, shop at the stores, go out to eat, whatever the case may be. And we're giving our wealth away every single day at 7 p.m. Going broke, waking up the next day, doing the same thing again. which is why every other, whether it is, Jewish, the white community, or they have their income and 98% of our income or our wealth. So I think that the start of building wealth and sustaining wealth is keeping what you have. At the very least, that's one thing my accountant says is the first step in making money is saving money. So we got to start reprogramming ourselves to say, look, if you have $500, give it to the right person, whether that's putting it invested into yourself or saving at the least. But let's be careful about who we give our wealth to, because if we do at least hold on to it, and if not, invest in others in our community, whether it's other businesses, then that's the start of how we can build sustainable. But we have to start reprogramming our mind and thinking about, hey, I'm going to invest in myself. I'm not going to sell my labor, okay, or sell my time, because it's not helping me, and find better ways to invest in ourselves to multiply our value.
Wow, thank you, Floyd. That was so good. And y'all, it's only been one question, and it's already at 6:46, so we have about 15 minutes. I don't want to hold your time. But I've already learned so much just in this short time. Before I read DJ Overload, anything you do every day you'll get good at. My question is, what are we choosing to do that is where the mindset? Oh, right. What are we choosing to? Are you getting up to smoke weed right away and then drink, and then, or you getting up to drink? One teacher's own. Nothing wrong with smoking weed. I'm not judging anyone. It's just the timing. Do it at night. Whatever you want to do. Sorry, y'all who listening. But anyway, so you can get up, drink some water, exercise. What is your routine? Just saying that. Same way we talked about when you get your paycheck, you're going to go spend it. Fine. Get the Louis Ooey. That works. What are you doing? How are you having money saved? And I'm learning from this as well. Are you saving? Are you building? And I love that you said a strategy. What is your strategy? What do you change? You can't complain. Oh, this is not happening. No. And what are you going to do? Sit and complain? That's not going to get you to build sustainable wealth at all. I think Osa had a comment, Brother Logic, before Jamed, before Overload. I'm not sure. I wanted to read it, but if not, okay, I did see that one. Maybe it was something else that I missed. I missed that one. Strategy. I kind of want to skip the next question, or okay, thank you, Logic. Or can we? The next question is about credit. Can each of you take about 1 minute on what credit? And then I would like a little bit more on the last one. Name, what advice would you give someone? You heard my accent slipping. Give someone to about building good credit. What advice would you give someone about building good credit? Chaka, go.
I would absolutely say knowledge is always key. Learn the rules of the game before you start to play anything. If you don't know the rules of credit, there's no way for you to be able to master it. So find out what the rules are of credit, find out what it is and how it can benefit you. Credit basically is your good name. It's someone who said, I lent this person a certain amount of money and they paid me like they said they would pay me. Not when they got some money, they put something on it, and then for the next week I didn't see them. And then the next time they got something, they put something on it again. That's not paying as agreed. We have to pay as we have agreed, and that's what credit is. Credit is a reflection of you being able to pay regardless, whether you got money or don't have money. You make sure that you pay as agreed. No one wants to hear your sob stories. No one wants to hear why you're not able to put something on it this week. These things go against you, and it goes into a scoring system which does not allow you to borrow on it. Most of us, to coin Cedric the Entertainer, he said, Black people think credit means get it. So if I have the opportunity to buy something, I'm going to run out and buy it, not thinking that there are going to be any consequences for my actions, and figuring that, well, if anything were to happen and they try to take something from me, I don't have anything to take. No, they can take your good name, and they can take your good name for 7 years, and that's going to stop you from really being able to enter the race towards wealth in any meaningful way. In order for you to get wealthy in terms of financial wealth, that has to take place as a result of your mentality. You can borrow $1 million faster than you can make $1 million. Your credit gives you the opportunity to tap into borrowing $1 million that's not your own, that can help to start that business that you don't have any money for, but your good name is going to let everyone know that you will pay them back at the time that they need to be paid back. Now, leverage is a very, very important thing when it comes to starting a business, because most of the times you don't have any cash flow. So if you have workers or employees, they still need to get paid whether you are making money or not. If you have credit, you'll be able to borrow some money, you'll be able to pay your current employees, and then wait on the point where you actually do get money. I have a friend who's a business owner, and he deals through contracts. Now, he's making a lot of money on paper, but the people who owe him have not paid him. So, for example, he has contracts with, let's say, ACS. You know, he has a contract with them. They were supposed to pay him a year ago. They have not paid him yet, but he's able to tap into his credit, borrow money to pay his current overhead, his employees, up until a point that paycheck is realized. After they finally give him the money, then he'll be able to pay everything off. So it gives you an opportunity to stand in the gap in a way and have the money that you don't necessarily have. But as long as I'm going to go a little biblical. If you're faithful over a few small things, I will make you rulers over many, is what God tells us. Credit is being faithful over some small things. If you buy something for $100, you can pay the whole thing off, or you can pay $5 every month. Once again, rain, sleet, hail, snow, whatever happens, you have to make sure that you pay that $5. If you do that, you can borrow the world, and you will be able to take those high leverage shots that I was talking about, and you'll be able to borrow that million to make the million, and you'll be okay.
All right. Thank you, brother. Just drop some gems. We're talking about building good credit. Building good credit. What does that look like? Building good credit. Who would like to jump on next? What does it take to build good credit from your experience? Rashina, you want to tap in?
I was just laughing during Chaka because I was credit does mean get it. So I'm gonna speak from the standpoint of someone, like after you've already borrowed and you have credit and things of that nature, and you feel like you can't improve your credit, right? So back in college, I was getting like credit cards, but I wasn't even using it for like shoes and things of that nature. It was legit for work and for school, like stuff like a yearly Metro card and stuff like that. So, and I definitely had that same, like, just like Chaka mentioned, I definitely was like, who cares if they come back for it, because what you gonna take? Nothing. Like, what are you gonna take from me? My debt? Thanks, take it. That's how I felt at the time, because I knew I had the mindset of, I know that in a couple of years I'm gonna push through this struggle. I'm gonna get my degree and whatever else I have to do. I'm gonna do whatever I have to do to get my education, because I know I'm gonna be a millionaire. So at that time, that's all I thought about. I was like, yeah, how much this book costs? All right, but let me go cop this credit card. $500 for a little book that I'm only going to open twice, but whatever. I'm going to do what I have to do to make it happen. And then fast forward to now, I've learned, I took the time out to learn more about credit, because back then, like 10 years ago, I did not care. I did not care because I knew I had a plan. And as strong as my plan was, it wasn't the right plan. But that was my mindset. It's like, I don't really care about any of this now, because in a couple of years, I'm going to be balling and I'm going to be like, here, take your little whatever, thousands here or there. But I changed my mindset. I said, you know what, let me, regardless of how much money I make and regardless of how much I can pay back, even if I could pay it back in full, let me understand this system. The American credit system is a scam, but it is American. I live in America. I have to deal with it, right? And my advice would be to, like Chaka said, learn the system, like literally take your time to watch YouTube videos, speak to people who are dealing with it face to face every day. If you have an accountant that you trust, speak to them as well. And I say that you trust because accountant is still a job. So they're not going to tell you everything, because then you won't be paying them to help you. So speak to an accountant that you trust, educate yourself on it. And once you educate yourself, take a step further and make the system work for you. I can't tell you how many times I hit up my lawyer friends for a letterhead to send to these companies to be like, prove to me that I borrowed this, and you better do it within 29 days, because if not, it's coming off my credit score. I knew damn well I bought that stuff too. Like, I was boiling out at Kohl's. I was boiling out at Walmart. Like, who does that? But legit, like, I was getting credit cards to just survive. So that's another reason why I didn't feel bad about it. I wasn't getting credit cards to get red bottoms. I was getting credit cards because I need to get to work. Stuff like that. So I learned the system as much as I could, as much as my time permitted. And I started to make it work for me. And I got a lot of stuff taken off of my credit due to learning the system and speaking to the right people. And it made me feel better, right? Of course, I don't have zero debt, but it made me feel better mentally, and it just goes back into it. I was no longer pressed about it. I was no longer dragging my feet. My shoulders were lighter. It didn't make the debt disappear, not all of it, but just knowing that I had the knowledge to make it better put me in such a better place than, dang, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna pay this off for the rest of my life. Oh my God. Stress. I learned about it. It made me feel better. It cleared my mind. And I had a clear enough mind to make a proper plan. So I would say, in addition to learning the system, is learning how to work with it, because we can't get away from it. We are living in America. It's a part of our life. We cannot get away from it. And also, a lot of people have the mindset of, I'm just never going to take a loan or get credit. And that's why I say it's a scam, because having no credit is just as bad as having bad credit in America. So again, like, learn about it as much as you can, spend your time, invest that time into learning the system, and then make it work for you in the best way that you can. But keep in mind that there's always a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. So people who are, stressed about their debt and stressed about their financial, their bad credit and things of that nature, just know there is someone out there that will work with you and help you clear your mind, and you will get through it. So stay positive. Right.
Yes, that was a good wrap up. And I love how you just shared a story from college all the way to now. And sometimes we don't realize that you had a plan and it pivoted, but you still had a plan. It still was in your mind frame. Oh, okay, this didn't work. Now I know knowledge is wealth. Some gems taken away. We are talking about how to build good credit. As I said, good credit, not just credit, because there's bad credit, right? Building good credit. And Jamed is going to jump on next. Rules of credit, just recapping what Chaka and Rashina said. Learn the system, because we are here in America. It is a system. Have a good accountant that you trust, and educate yourself. My way of building credit, real quick, I started building my credit recently to get more. I use a company called Self. And what it does is you pay every month and it reports it to your credit bureau, and then you get the money back at the end of the year. And every single month I pay a certain amount, consistency, and that helps you build credit to get to your next. So you may think, I don't know how to do this, but there are ways to do this. So check out Self. Is an organization that an accountant advised me to do. And I've had a bad accountant before. So sometimes we get discouraged because you may get a bad experience. That's just part of life. It's just part of life, and it gets you to a different level. Job medicine, go right ahead. Building good credit.
All right, so just real quick. So my younger brother Omari has a financial literacy consultant company, right? Called Oyo Enterprises. So boom, for me, I'm similar to Sheena when she was talking about credit cards in college. Lincoln University also knows they were giving us free Discover cards in the cafeteria, right? So I've had like really bad credit for a really long time, but then my brother now has the knowledge, and he has a company around repairing your credit. So for me, it was that thing of it was so much shame. I don't even look at my credit. I don't deal with it. And it's but it was holding me back. So then he started working with me, and everybody's saying is getting an education, because once again, it's about the information. first of all, it's illegal for companies to sell your information to collection agencies without your permission. So once they do that, you automatically, even if you did use the credit card and you spent the money, if you weren't a part of that transaction, it's illegal, and they have to take it off, and that takes some time. But a lot of stuff is like, we be feeling bad because, oh man, we use these credit cards, but the whole process of them giving us credit cards and what they do to us is illegal. And until we got that information, then it's kind of like, so no, when we get that information, now we can just be steadfast, and we can be steadfast and just like now going through the process of getting things removed, changing our habits. But once again, it's just about information. Like, for some reason, the older we get, we don't know how to learn things anymore. Like, we have this aversion to learning. That's all it is. It's just learning. It's just being like, hold up, so how do I do this? Versus just sabotaging and just beating yourself up and all of this stuff, right? So he took my credit from like, it was like the bottom of 500 to like 750. You know what I'm saying? Now, but peep this. Another thing that I learned was that, like, if you don't check it regularly, then somebody can throw something on there and then take it all the way down. And by the time you see it, now you got to work this process. Because he got me all the way up to 750 like this year. You know what I'm saying? And then from there, I took my eye off my credit score, and then something got added to it that bumped me down a little bit. So in conclusion, what I'm saying is, if anybody needs the services of my brother, you know what I'm saying? Y'all can tap in with me on Instagram, or you can get my personal information. But yo, you just got people that can just like the bottom line is, yo, man, work in community. Stop trying to figure things out by yourself that you have no knowledge of, and get help, because it's help all around us. We just have to, if we committed to it, then let's just tap in and help each other out. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'll stop there.
No, that was great. Like you said, stop trying to do it yourself. There's help out there. Tap in with Jamed at John Medicine. Slide in his DM just for about talking. Don't be sliding there doing other stuff, but slide in his DM. Ask about his brother. Also said, shout out to brother Omari. Yes, helping people build their credit up. We love and appreciate you. They enticed us with free candy up and promo items to sign up for those credit cards. Oh, she talking about Lincoln. Yeah, we had those at Hofstra. They got them.
Straight up, yo. Illegal. That's illegal, man.
It's illegal. Come on. Panelists all did an excellent job. Logic, thank you for being the glue that keeps this going. You're a queen. I appreciate you. You're the best. DJ Overload, you are the best. Beautiful people. King Floyd, building good credit. Talk to the people.
From my perspective, there's two different ways to look at it. Personally, I think your personal credit, I think you should pay it off. And I think you should try to limit debt where you can, or if you do have money, pay your debt down as quickly as possible. In business, if we're talking about wealth building, debt is your best friend. Take on as much debt, healthy debt, as you can to grow your company. So I think that, there's a different, one of the other panelists, she got it right when she said, credit is a scam. It's not real. It is meaningless. You can have the absolute worst credit, and in 6 months, you can have a 750, 800 credit score. This whole thing is a scam. But it is, people have built fortunes off of utilizing debt and utilizing money as well. So I would suggest anyone, if you do have poor credit, there are simple ways to fix it. Eki did mention one. I remember there were some years ago when I had terrible credit and I got a secure credit card through a particular company, paid on it, and less than a year, my credit score was above 700. Personally, as I mentioned, all the advice that's ever been given me was find a way to pay off your debts, whether it's through negotiation or whether it's just paying it down. A lot of times you can get things removed through negotiating with a credit bureau or negotiating with anyone that you're in debt to. But personally, that's how you can fix it. But if you're looking to grow wealth and build sustainable wealth, then debt is something that is wise to take advantage of, especially if it's available to you. And it is available to you. People are handing out money for free. There's more money to go around than people to use it. So we should not be afraid of going into debt if it's an investment towards building wealth and growing. We have a president, or former president, who is in billions of dollars in debt, and he finessed that into the presidency of the United States, which shows you how powerful debt is and how powerful credit is and how far you can and how you can utilize it. So don't be afraid of debt. It's here for you if you're willing to leverage it properly. You can take yourself pretty far with it. There's not one company out here that's not in debt that's worth $1 billion. Jeff Bezos used debt to grow Amazon. So it's definitely your friend. And I think that if you want to start a business, you should most definitely find a way to gain access to capital, whether that's equity or if that's through any types of loans or anything like that. It's definitely wise to use debt.
Yeah, that was so good. They said credit is scam, but we have to know how to use it because people are it's here. Educate ourselves. Don't be nervous. Huh?
America is a scam.
Yo, I love y'all. Y'all are keeping it 100.
The whole system of America is a scam. I always say this to people that I didn't know it. Well, the way America works is the scam. But if you learn the system, use it to your advantage. So this whole country was founded on debt, to be honest with you, and it's wise if you understand the game, and it's not hard to learn the rules. Take advantage of it. Use it, even as Black people, and we struggle a lot to get access to credit. But there are more and more opportunities that are coming. There are Black-owned funds. There are Black-owned financial institutions, and even down to your local. What do we call it? They're not the CDFIs. Those smaller banks give us access to credit without documentation. There are no doc loans that we can take advantage of. So a lot of people are afraid of credit, but do not. These people there's tons of money out here available to be used. All you got to do is ask.
Don't be scared. Don't be scared. It's out there.
Mm-hmm.
Also said, invest in a financial educator or get free advice online. Like Chaka and everybody says, Google University, YouTube University. Tomo is a great secure credit card. Yes, you were telling me about Tomo. Mission Lane to Mission Lane 2. And so Tomo, you guys got Tomo, Mission Lane, you got Self, different ones like that. And then with Self, for me, I think started maybe 5 months ago, and I've already gone up about 54 points, which is very good, very helpful. So it works. It works. You just got to educate. And I'm still learning myself. But I love how my brain is unlocking, because I started off with like what Jamed was saying. I didn't want to look at it. I'm like, but you have to remove those shackles and educate yourself and be with the right people to help you take those baby steps to get there. You know what I mean? You can do it. Beautiful for you. Thank you for your time. We have gone over an hour, but I want to jump. We have one more question because this is so important that we're talking about wealth, and I'm loving how the conversation's going. So some gems to take back: wealth, mindset, being healthy, building financial sustainable wealth, whether is doing to leave wealth in your family by having a home or having a business. Educating yourself on YouTube University, there's tools out there, and also removing the fear of that. And like Chaka brought it into the spirituality, tap in. I like this final question. For those of you guys who are tuning in, like, what's going on? What y'all talking about? We are your queens. The the first ancient African royalty company to teach about African royalty through storytelling, song, and dance. We portray queens like Queen Amina, Goddess Isis, Queen Nefertiti, Queen Amina, Queen Cleopatra. And what we do is we do birthday parties, daycare center, school presentations. We've done virtually, in person, and on virtual as well. We've traveled to different places. We are here for you to teach you that you come from royalty. And with that, behind the crown, we're talking about so many different topics, from love to trust to building financial wealth. And I wanted to talk about really quickly, and then we jump to the last question, is Ujamaa. And that is the principle of building wealth, is cooperative economic, the fourth principle. And it means to build wealth, to build our own businesses, control the economics of our own community, and share in all the work and wealth. So it's almost exactly everything we were talking about. Quick plug in, December 26th, Kwanzaa celebration. We want to see you there in person, virtual. If you want to be there in person, because we're going to have vendors, we're going to have food, and we got a special surprise performance that we're doing. My alarm is going off, and it's talking about money is coming to me. You see the vibes. So RSVP now. We're only taking a limited about 30 to 40 people, but you can also stream in person. But we want to see you come through. Kwanzaa celebration. Support the Black businesses that are going to be there as well. This is your Queen's 5th Kwanzaa celebration that is going down. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, five. I'm like, whoa, the time goes, and just so thankful. Our final question is, and also for our audience who are tuning in and just jumping on the comments, thank you. Last question. Name 3 things you do or can do daily to keep you on track to be a billionaire. I went there. Yes. What do y'all do? Chaka, take it.
Well, the first thing that I do is I set a schedule, and I do that the night before. So the days that my day is not a mystery. So I am completely capitalizing off of the time that I have and doing things to invest in myself. So for example, tomorrow I will be researching on YouTube how to get grants. So that's a way of me investing in myself and using the fact that I have time to get some of the money that I need. Another thing is taking care of my own individual health. I believe that your health is one of the biggest and best investments that you have. There is nothing that you can add good health to that it doesn't improve. So you can be rich, you can be a billionaire, but if you don't have good health, what does it mean? Most of your money is going to end up going towards your medical and everything else. So, the third thing that I do is also I pay attention to my my mental health. That's also a big deal with me. I engage in self-care. I understand that a good portion of things that happen to people is as a result of stress. We hear a common saying, more money, more problems. I don't necessarily believe that, but if we are not intentional about finding out the things that we don't know, then we can be stepping into places where we have no idea, and the anxiety and the things that we don't know can lead to our demise. So it's important for us to engage in self-care, taking care of our health, and as I said, creating that schedule for tomorrow so that you can properly allocate the one thing that you have, which is time, to get that money. Thank you so much for having me.
That was perfect. It's so interesting because I'm sure some people think like it's some like, ooh, I got to prepare to be a billionaire, so I got to make this right now and make this. No, he literally just said, set a schedule. He literally just said health, alignment through health, whether it's spirituality and your mental health as well, self, those things. Because once you get those in check, your brain unlocks other magic that happens, other blessings that come and flow. I would say really quickly, for me, something that I've been doing for a while, but even more clearer now, and it changes every time. Before I had this like schedule, pray, meditate, and it flows. But now I'm like, okay, I'm getting wiser, I'm fixing my credit. Now I tell, this is what I do that works for me, and there's a break in between. I tell myself Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Work, do something. Whether, and then I may have a business meeting within that time, but I know after 8 is Eki rest. That is my Monday through Fridays. I know 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. because I run 2 businesses, and then I'm also a consultant as well. But I know 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. That's what works for me right now. Rashina, take it.
One thing I do, well, 3 things. The first one I always do is keep notes. I constantly write things down. Everything's virtual or on electronic, so I have like a note app on my phone where if any idea or anything pops into my mind or a thought that I think will help lend a hand in this millionaire journey, I write it down. And it could be something as small as start wearing orange more, like literally things that small to things as big as take this course on YouTube or the academies and all those things. So I write everything down, my creative ideas, like, okay, this is a good topic. When I was a writer for Your Voice Media, shout out to Wally, I would random times during the day I would think of something funny or something interesting and be like, oh wow, I should write about that, and I'll put it in my notes. Because when it is time to sit down and create and to start making that money, you may forget all these ideas. You may not remember them, or you may remember half of it, a little bit of it. But when you have these notes and you read through the notes, and I speak to myself out loud all the time. When I read through these notes, it reminds me and it takes me back to the time where I wanted to do XYZ. So now it's like I'm writing about it and I'm living in that moment as well. And you're reliving it. So it makes the content that much better. And it also, outside of writing down my creative thoughts, it also keeps me on track. So if I write something like, oh, make sure you speak to Spencer about finances, I write that down on Monday, and then it's Thursday, and I'm looking through my notes. I'm like, oh man, I forgot to speak to Spencer. I have free time right now. Let me do it. So it just keeps me on track mentally as well, because I don't like to have overload or writer's block, the total opposite. So having that clear plan and just not even like a legit piece by piece plan, but just your notes. Once you read over them, it puts you back in the mindset and you focus better. So definitely keep notes like crazy. And I put the same thing. I put rest. So I'm going to make it a 2-for-1. Rest and having patience. Rest and having patience. Nothing happens overnight, and nothing happens if you're burnt out. So I don't believe in all people be like, you got to grind, hustle, work 24/7. No, I'm sleeping. Like that's just it. Like I'm just not a fan. Like, and it's funny because I have like 18 jobs and people are always like, how do you do it? It's because I write things down. So my schedule is very like this, that, third, and I schedule my sleep and I schedule my rest. So I know if I have to do something at 2 p.m., I'm gonna finish whatever I have to do, but at least 10 a.m. so I can take me a cat nap, so that from 2 p.m. until 2 a.m. in the morning, I'm not tired because I already took my cat nap. So yeah, rest and have patience with yourself for sure. Nothing happens overnight, and don't get discouraged. So making sure you literally tell yourself, have patience. Don't just, oh, I got patience. No, like sit yourself down and say to yourself, you have patience. You are working towards your goal. It will happen. Have patience. Because a lot of times you panic when you think, well, I did this for 6 months and I don't have that. And I see this over there on that person's social media. Why don't I have that? I should do this. This should happen now. This should happen. No, have that patience. It'll keep you level-headed, and it'll make you have a clear. Everything's about having a clear mind and focusing on your actual goal. So have patience with yourself. And I would say the third thing is to connect. I make sure to connect daily for my own self-care, connecting with my loved ones, my family, my friends, to connecting with future business opportunities and mine. And I don't mean, because it does get annoying to always walk around and be like, oh, I can work with that person. Oh, I can work with that person. That's not exactly what I mean. But just connecting in a way, for example, I'm a teacher. And I'm connecting with the social studies teacher outside of work. Like now we're speaking about more things. And I didn't know, I had no plan for her, I had no business opportunity for her in mind. I just felt the need to connect. And I felt the need to connect with her for that day. And now we're talking, and the conversations I'm having with her are helping me in grad school. It's helping me have a different point of view. And I had no idea that would happen. So I make it a point to connect with someone or something daily. And when I say something, it could be, again, a YouTube course, or I'm trying to get into more things like this, like live streaming and doing all of those things, because I'm an in-person type of person. It's hard for me to stare at a screen because I'll get bored and I'll start yawning and forget that people can see me. And I'll be like, oh. So I'm trying to get better at that. So I connected with the idea of getting better with that. And now that I've mentally said that to myself and I'm connected to that idea, I can't unconnect. Like, I'm always thinking about it. How can I do better at it? How can I learn more about it? So when I see random things on social media, my sister just did this course and it helped her with her YouTube channel, I have that thought in my head that I already connected to. And now I'm like, you know what? Let me click her page and let me see what's up with that. Oh, wow, that's cute. I should write that down. That's a good idea. So just to recap, keeping notes, rest, and connect. Those are my 3 daily things.
I love that.
Yes. Thank you so much for having us.
That was so good. I need to take more notes. All right. Yeah. Don't compare. That's yes. So big. Only compare with yourself, your past self. Keep growing from your past self. Organic. Hello. You already know what it is. Organic connections are key. And even with Rashina, something I got from you too is the consistency of doing work, doing billionaire mindset. It takes consistency. DJ Overload, get out of debt, start saving, and cut down on expenses. Finally, generate multiple income streams. Yeah. So recap, like you said, our brother Chaka said setting a schedule, health, mental health. Rashina keeping notes. Even said, like, if you want to wear the color green that day and meditate on that, whatever that is for you, that is fine. Hi, brother. Whatever that is for you, that is fine. Something I do daily, especially when I'm home and I'm working from home, I play affirmations all day, every day. Sounds, soothing sounds, affirmation, or even sermons. I love Sarah Jakes, TD Jakes, or someone's always said, or sometimes I listen to Chaka on his YouTube or on his Facebook or Instagram live. These that I know who to tap into. Yeah, of course, I know who to tap into. So those daily. Before I even get out of the bed, is praying, and I'm kind of like not looking at my phone. Is I need to hear a good word, or I'm doing an affirmation or something, and then I'm drinking my water. Let's get it going for this day. And by the time I'm always amazed as how much you can get done between 6 a.m. and 12 noon. You get so much done between those times. It's amazing. If you are a early riser, I like getting up early. I'm okay with it. It doesn't bother. Brother Floyd, 3 things to set your mind to be a billionaire, to keep you on track. What do you do daily?
Well, I'm going to make this brief because my phone's going to die. But
I saw your face. I was like, let me get him.
Exactly. I was about to be like, but yeah, I'll make it brief. It centers around my obsession with routines. And so whether it's, keeping my body together, making sure that I'm very obsessive about the type of food that I put in my body every day, especially in the morning. So it's going to be health is my wealth. Number 2, it is creating routine and making a plan, not only for my life, my year, my week, and my day. I'm obsessive about thinking about my routine as well. And then also lastly, and most importantly, is research. Constantly reading every day, trying to find ways and strategies on how to reach the ultimate goal of growing my company into a $1 billion company, which we are on our way there. So it's just constant research, learning the game, learning how to maneuver, and being obsessive and efficient about how we're going to reach our goals.
I love that. Efficient. Schedule. What was the word? Oh, routine. Salute all. Peace, redemption. How you doing? Blessings. Thank you. Yeah. Routine. What was the other thing? Making connections. Something. Thank you, Floyd, for sharing in. One thing that Rashina said I wanted to bring back, you talked about being patient, and I'll bring it back to talking about spirituality and God. Sometimes I'll plan being patient. Like she said, you may have something for 6, like your queen's 7 years. We're still here. We've seen how much that we build. Some people are like, why I ain't make it yet? what have you done to help us support? But it's not even a that. It's because we trust God. And we know what we have is beyond. We trust God, we trust the journey, and we've seen how much that we grow. So we ain't worried about that. Because sometimes what you want right now, you may want it in a year. God is saying, can you wait 5 years, 7 years? But I want you to just keep doing the work. I want you to just keep doing the work. Keep it consistent. Because God will your time will come. You just have to believe it. And your time is coming because we're doing the work. This is our time right now, doing that work right now. Beautiful. I think we lost our brother Jamed, but he's probably tuning in. If you want to write it in, if you hear us and want to write it in the comments, your tools of your 3 things that you do daily to build wealth. A lot of it, y'all, will center around mindset and what you eat too. The same thing that Floyd was saying, what I put in my body, especially right now, I'm growing into plant-based. I ain't 100% there yet. I'm working on, but I've seen so much improvement just eating clean, and my mind has done this major shift. I'm like, wow, it's what you eat. And you can do it. Vegetables will fill you up. I don't want to get into that part, but vegetables will fill you up. What you eat will get you to the next level of being a billionaire. We believe you all are billionaires and can do it. Don't be discouraged. Replay this. Hit one of us up on our DM and say, listen, I connected with something you said. How can I do this? Supporting each other is so great. You about to go? Your thing's about to die? Oh, okay. You want me to read it? Yes, Floyd Phillips Company right there. Oh, you're doing at Eki's Famous, at Chaka, at Rashina right there. Kings and queens on this panel, can you give us one word, Chaka, one word to take away from this time that we had together, as well as Floyd and Rashina? Actually, I'm going to have Floyd go first because I think his thing's going to die real quick. One word, just in case. Then Chaka, and then Rashina.
One word for...
Just from the whole experience today, this live, when dealing with finance.
A good one.
For our audience, you guys can drop it in too.
Yeah.
It's okay. I know.
I'm gonna have to think about that.
My word is focus. I'll go with focus. Chaka and Rashina, you want to jump in if you have it? Focus. That's my word.
My word is informative. I think that this session was very, very informative. And I think that if our audience and some of us decide to take some of the jewels that have been shared, they're going to lead to the patterns that we're looking for. And that's the success that we are actually searching for, is developing those patterns that are going to lead to us being successful.
Thank you. Nice. This is so good. Go ahead, Queen.
I would say my one word is detach. Detach from those chains, detach from those that past trauma, detach from those ideas that we can't make it, detach from that fear, just detach from a lot of it. Detach.
That's a powerful word. Detach. DJ Overload said mindset. Yeah, you got one for us, Floyd?
Yeah, I was going to say invest.
Invest.
I think that one of the most powerful things we could do is invest in ourselves. I mentioned earlier about selling labor. When we do that, we are investing in someone else. We have to hold on to our assets, invest in ourselves if we're going to be wealthy. If we're going to have anything to give to our children, we have to invest in ourselves.
Thank you. Thank you to my beautiful panel, beautiful, handsome panel. My queen, Rashina, I appreciate you. Floyd, I appreciate you. Chaka, I appreciate you. Jamed, I appreciate you. Brother Logic, our family and friends for tuning in. Listen, full transparency, finance was always kind of like so this is like me coming out of my shell and doing this conversation. Right before this, I was nervous. But my brother Logic behind the crown said that behind our producer said, oh, that means you're gonna, before I think he said something, when you're nervous, that means you care. And it means that you're going to do great. So I feel so much relaxed right now because I pushed through my fear, being live with you all talking about finance. Y'all did it. We did it. Guess what? Y'all going to be billionaires because you tapped in. I love you, beautiful people. We are your queens. We're here for you. See you on our next episode, December 1st. I believe we're talking unity. We're coming on unity. We have 2 more episodes for season 3. And then we're going to see you on December 26th. Kwanzaa celebration. I love y'all. We are out. Thank you.